Okay. That's good.
Today I want to talk to you about decorations and honours. And as you see, I'm wearing the Order of the Leopard. I'll get round to explain how I came by the Order of the Leopard. Your grandfather, Hilary Blood, was a much decorated man. In 1934 he got the CMG. In 1944, when he finished his job as governor of the Gambia, he was awarded the KCMG, a Knight Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. And when he finally retired after being governor of Mauritius, he was given the GBE, the Knight Grand Cross of the Order of the British Empire. And later, I think in Malta, he did work with Malta, and for that he was made a Knight of St. John. They were the Knights Templar, Knights of St. John. So he was a very much decorated man. Now, I have only had 3 little gongs in my life. 2 British. I got a CMG earlier when I finished, I think, the Congo, when I lived in the Congo. And I was knighted in 1988 after serving in Indonesia. And just to show you what these things are like, these are the insignia, can you see them, of the KCMG. Your grandfather had an identical one, this is my one, and they'll be handed down. You'd better keep those as mementos. So, how did I get the Order of the Leopard? Well, it was one of the most bizarre interviews of my whole life. When I left the Congo after 2.5 years, this was about March 1980, I had to pay a farewell call on President Mobutu. So I went to see him in his palace, and remember, in his palace you had to pass through a gate where were tethered 2 leopards chained up at the gate, just to remind you that the leopard was his thing. He used to wear a leopard skin hat and had a magic totem pole with wizard signs on it. So you had to pass the 2 leopards and go in to say goodbye to President Mobutu. Now, it was the most bizarre interview of my life, because he started off by saying, "I must congratulate you on your promotion." And I said, "I'm not being promoted, I'm just being recalled to London." "Oh yes, but you're going to work in the Foreign Office with Peter Carrington's deputy, Sir John Galbraith." Now, I'd never heard of Sir John Galbraith in my life, and this went through a terrible scene. That's a story in itself. But he opened a huge trunk and brought out a letter. It said, "My man in London has just had a word with Sir John Galbraith. And look, to show you this is the letter." And he quoted the letter back, so I couldn't see who it was from and who it wrote it. And all this interview conducted in French, by the way, in Belgic French. And I did see Sir John Galbraith, and I said, "No idea." And eventually he shrugged his shoulders and he turned to another subject. So I thought, what next? He said, "Je veux me remarier." And I said, "Congratulations, you're getting married again. Who is the lucky lady?" He said, "It's my deceased wife's sister." And I thought, that's rum, because I remember from Gilbert and Sullivan, from Iolanthe, "They shall prick the annual blister marriage to your deceased wife's sister." Because the rule in the Church of England then was you couldn't marry your dead wife's sister because it suggested hanky-panky somewhere. So I nearly buzzed up, "But you can't do it." And I said, no, of course not. Felicitation. So then he said, "Well now, when I was in Buckingham Palace in 1973 as the guest of your government," so he was greeted a state welcome by Queen Elizabeth in 1973, he heard the cornemuse. Cornemuse is the bagpipes. Every morning at 6 o'clock, somebody marched past his window in Buckingham Palace playing the bagpipes. So he thought it was terribly good. So what I'd like to do is have a honeymoon in Scotland. to hear the bagpipes. Oh yes, I said. So he said, now you're a Scot, you must know where to go in Scotland for my honeymoon. So I said, well, oh Lord. And I thought it's all very hard. I thought, well, this is difficult. He was a terrible guest at Buckingham Palace in '73. He brought his little dog with him. And halfway in the middle of the night, about 4 in the morning, he rang one of the butlers who came to see him. And he said, could I have a medium rare steak to my room? And the flunky said, yes, of course. 20 minutes later, there came a marvellous steak, which Mobutu put down on the floor, and the dog was brought out and ate it. He had brought in the dog illegally because it hadn't had a rabies injection or anything. So I thought, this is going to be a very difficult man to deal with in a hotel in Scotland. And then I remembered I'd seen in a telegram that the Commonwealth heads of government had had a meeting in Gleneagles in Perthshire. Ah, I said, there's only one hotel you can go to in Scotland, and that is Gleneagles Hotel. Ah, he clicked his fingers and called in an overdressed man in uniform and said, what's the address? So I said, you just write to Gleneagles Hotel, Perthshire, Scotland, and I'm sure it will get there. Oh, very good, take it down. And so this chap wrote it all down. And then he turned to another subject. I was talking, the man he was sitting with was the Foreign Secretary, their Foreign Minister, Nguzi Kali Bond, big fat Congolese. And I thought he said, give him to the leopard. Give him to the leopard. And I thought, I just come through the gates with all the lepers. And when he said, no, I want to confer upon you the order of the leopard for your great help. And I thought, I should have said, I'm terribly sorry, you know, I have to have the permission of the Queen. Because when George II was king, he found that some of his ambassadors abroad were being given honours by the government of the place they were in, and he wondered about their loyalty. So he said, no one shall collar my dogs but me, or no one shall wear my collar except my dogs, meaning I gave the honours, not any foreign chap. But I didn't know what to say. I should have said it, but forgot. I didn't know. I didn't know. So I said, oh, that's very good, thank you very much. And then later on we had a curious investiture and I got this medal. Now, the trouble about this, I accepted the medal and hadn't asked the Queen for permission. And over my life I'd never been able to get round to ring Buckingham Palace and say, look, I've got a foreign decoration. Because you're not allowed to wear it except on the National Day of the Republic of Zaire. Well, since the Republic of Zaire no longer exists, it's the Democratic Republic of the Congo, I don't think it matters, but I still don't like to go prancing around wearing this gaudy bauble, but there it is. And so I keep it in the drawer, and you're going to keep it from now on.
That's really good.
Turn it off.
Right.